Hello, everybody. My name is Adriana, and today my topic is Country of Realistic Magical Colombia. I choose Colombia as my topic because I believe Colombia has been through a lot of stigmatization. For the last 20 years, narco traffic has been linked to their name, and even though Colombia has been through a lot of change, uh, I believe the channel that we have, like TV, newspaper, radio, and other like social media, does not show up the reality of all of the process that Colombia has been through and the beauty of Colombia and what the country really means and is. In this speech, I'm gonna talk about the work that Colombia has been through in the last 20 years. I'm gonna talk about the culture, and also about some of like funny and enjoyable facts that make Colombia a place where people can learn a lot about history, stories, and tales, and also about forgiving in love. Colombia from war to peace. The reality is that during 80s and 90s, the narco traffic was a big deal around the world. And one of the names known to our worldwide is Pablo Escobar. He, as a Colombian, was one of the biggest narco traffickers that was promoting the narco traffic as a business. The reality is that for a Colombia, that was a pain or lost in terrorism. Unfortunately, his principles were against to the reality of what Colombia is looking for. What it creates that he started a war directly with the government, affecting families and the land in front of the war. Even though after he passed away in 1992, Colombia started a new process of peace where he was like the government was calling all of the warfares, cartels, drug dealers in the list of people that could be linked to the drug traffic to become into a normal citizen by get into a process of new beginning that allowed the country not only to lose all of this linked process of the drug traffic, but also to start a process of peace with the community, a process of cleaning of the land, and a process of forgiving and understanding that part of the growing is to learn from the past. The last big step that Colombia took was in 2016 signing the process of peace with the FARC, one of the big war warfare that Colombia has in their land, and it's become into more other warfares coming to talk with the government to get into agreement for sign up. So right now there is a lot of transition of justice, there is a lot of change and new beginnings for the Colombian population. Colombia is explosive of culture. In this topic I would like to talk about the different regions of Colombia. Uh, Colombia is separated by different areas. There is mountains, oceans areas, and also plain lands, also jungle. And all of that brings something different to Colombia, like a different kind of flavors and ideas that Colombia is in reality. We can start for the Andes. In the Andes, the majority of the land is grow or like landed into our mountains. In these areas, we can find a lot of different process of plantation. One of them is coffee, that is one of the populars of Colombia. Also, we can find the Orinoco, where the growing of rice is one of the big productions over there, and the extraction of oil. Colombia comes with Caribbean Ocean and Pacific Ocean, and also has four different islands around that permit like the hot and the good time of the sea time. um, Around the ocean, we can find jungle and some other mountains and snow too. Also, the most important part, Amazonas, where the jungle is not known, and half or majority of the Amazon is not touched. It's a virgin jungle, and it has different kind of native people still living inside the jungle, and that does not share space with what we call the urban area. So Colombia has a lot of to show and discover still in their community, in their land, and in their traditions. Something else that is really curious about Colombia is that it does not have season, but it has some snow. In this picture, I want to show how Colombia during all the year can have every single climb. So from the snow to the ocean, different kind of terms that it helps that the growing of different fruits and vegetables go through easy during the entire year. There is not like a moment of harvest of a specific item because the opportunity of harvest is during the 12 months of the year. Colombian means magic. And in this point, I would like to highlight the writers, the history, the stories that Colombia has, and how they, even nowadays, are showing up in a big waves. So in this case, we have a lot of mythic and legends history that become from the native people, and how even in this moment, those stories of the back in the years become into a parties of celebration of who is the population, what are the traditions, food, and music around the cities. Something to share as a fact is that the Colombian people suffer when people say Colombia instead of Colombia. And also Colombia is one of the countries that has most species of orchids around the world. As a conclusion, I will say Colombia is a country full of wonders and stories to tell, and its experienced unique histories process, making it a resilient country full of things to offer to those who wants to take the plug. I will invite everybody that is seeing this to visit Colombia because I believe Colombia has a lot of to show. Even the story of the narco traffic becoming to something to share and learn from. It becoming to a process of peace, learning, and forgiving for the population. And it's a country that is always happy, is always enjoying, and is always warm to receive whoever wants to know them and join their culture. Thank you very much for being until here. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.